Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledging knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, brews, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Welcome back into the Internet Saloon we call Topic Thunder. You heard the man. They call him Biz, or his stage name is They Call Me Biz. You can look that up on YouTube. You can also check out his clothing. And we're going to talk about that in just a second, Ben, because we're coming up on the season. But
indeed,
it is coming up to that season. Ooh. Anyway, folks, welcome in. My name is Brooks, and that's Ben. Topic Thunder is the name of the show, and we again fashion ourselves as the Internet Saloon, slinging conversation across whoever decides to show up. And where do you show up? Well, they check themselves into the world's most dangerous chat zone. We call that the Thunderdome. Yeah, it's that way.
Young Aaron is already in the house.
Young Aaron, oh, my friend Aaron is already in the house. Welcome, Aaron. As we wait for the folks to kind of pile in for showtime, I already got a text for Dad F. Brooks. He always checks in like show tonight. And we have a little,
yep. Mob Jordan does the same usually. Yep.
Oh, how about that now? No, don't they're bringing families together. That's what we do here. And there he is.
Of
Dad F. Brooks, and the happy holidays to all. So I don't know what we got stuff to talk about. It's a weird show. I'm gonna call it a weird show. It's there's a flow, there's a purpose, and it's a zoo. Let me tell you that. That's just a zoo. But anyway, we wanted to open the show. Oh, see, that's my friend Business Clothing Line Shiesty. I usually
new layout today. New layout this week. It's nice.
He did. Look at that.
It's just changed it up. Doing a good job changing things up. Keep it.
Yeah, I actually have to get him an order here for the holiday season, and for personally, there's this really cool corduroy hat he has with the octopus.
Yes. I hit him up privately about the bucket hat. I'm working him over about the bucket hat. I need a bucket.
Chris
hat.
in the house. I don't see Aaron's comment, which is weird.
Really? It's there. Yeah. I see it on the screen. I see it on my screen. I see it on the little bar next to us. He was the first one in the group before before the song was even over.
Okay.
Young Aaron was already in the house. So
because all right, so I've got my monitor here. It's a wide monitor, and I had the for some reason the screen was smaller, and then it kind of cut them out, truncated. Yes, I do, sir.
Do you see me now?
Hello, can you hear me?
Do you see me now?
We are, folks, it's the holiday season. It's the cold, the dark season. It's the brown liquor season. And the show, we always open with a little libation. And I'm gonna live, Ben, make it old fashioned.
Okay, we'll do it live as
we're gonna do it live. In a different life, right? So, folks, if you don't know, an old fashioned is simply 3 ingredients: sugar, bitters, four, I guess, your favorite rye whiskey or bourbon, a little twist of orange, and you get crazy from there. But those are your 4 bases, right? So, what we have here.
You'll remember that this is a drink that I told a story about a couple months ago that I had one made for me, and I absolutely despised it because me and brown liquor are not friends.
You did not like it at all, but there's a reason. No. Like this, when done right, doesn't exactly hit you with all of the bad things about brown liquor that people don't like, the burning and all of that fun stuff, right? Us masochists enjoy. We are starting with a Basil Hayden bourbon.
There you go. Turn a little bit more. A little bit more. There you go. That's it. I
feel like a boomer. Sorry, boomer.
That's actually a cool. I like that little. I like the. Is that a belt, or is it like it looks? It's a metal belt kind of deal.
It's kind of just it looks like a belt. It's just a branding. Yeah, actually, it is.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I like
so.
That.
It's a bourbon. I generally prefer my old fashions with a little rye whiskey. Aaron, you'll learn about that in
Yeah, earmuffs, earmuffs,
earmuffs.
earmuffs, young Aaron, earmuffs.
I don't have. I didn't want to take the time to use sugar because the actual recipe calls for sugar to be used, and you're supposed to spin the bitters, a little bit of water, and the sugar until the sugar dissolves. Then you add the whiskey or bourbon, you stir it up, and you keep stirring that until that all kind of made. And that okay. So if you go to an actual nice bar, they should take the time. You should watch them.
Right.
It should take about 5 minutes. But we are not taking that time here.
We are cutting corners as we do here on Topic Thunder.
Long show. We got a lot to talk about, and you're going to listen to it. And then just your typical thing of bitters right there, right?
Gotcha.
So you're going to start, I think the recipe calls for like 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of your libation.
Woo! There you go. Meanwhile, I'm going to have my strawberry water.
A tablespoon of the simple sugar, and I like the bitters, so I gave myself 4 little shakes. It's supposed to be, I guess, 3.
So and like bitters, obviously bitters, it's bitter tasting, but like, what is bitters? Help smarten me up. Like, what is it that what is it made from? I suppose is what I'm
It's
asking.
like extract.
Okay.
So, have you ever like tasted vanilla extract?
Yes, right. So it's a concentrated, but concentrated what?
So in this one, it's you can have different ones. There's grapefruit.
I see. Gotcha.
This is aromatic. So I think there's like a bouquet of flowers in here. I don't have great lighting to read this right now.
No problem. Each bitters can be different.
Oh yes.
What it is originated from. Gotcha.
I think we've got lime. I think we have grapefruit here because
okay, so bitters isn't a flavor; it is a thing that has different flavors of bitters.
That is
got
correct. That is correct. All right, and then you.
All right, here we go.
Got my. The only thing I pre-made, or actually, I didn't pre-make it. Gigi pre-made my favorite drinking glass with a twist of orange, and you're supposed to twist orange. Exactly. It's a problem. Cobra's a problem, and you pour that in. This is going to be oof. I may have went a little ham on this.
I may have gone a little ham on this. Stick with us an hour from now, and we'll tell you for real if it was. I made the orange twist, not the glass. Yes, to be
right. Just hours before she was in front of the kiln, blowing glass and etched it and everything. Hours.
Yeah, she's very talented.
The demands of this show, let me tell you. I'm not gonna lie. I could have done better. It's passable, but if I was at the bar, I would not order this drink again from the bartender.
Your bartender is not at the top of his game, is what you're saying. Well, let's hope he's a better info tender.
And away we go. Welcome to Headline. We don't know what else to call it. It's Headline.
It's very straightforward, just like drinks. Very straightforward.
We're just monosyllabic idiots.
We do not beat around the bush, so to speak.
Yes, no. Neither does this guy, apparently. And what I mean by this guy, I mean
neither does this guy.
Did you hear this one, Ben? When asked if you would abuse power if reelected, Trump said, no, only on the first day.
It's the most honest thing that man has said in a long time, if ever. And he's not really the type to, you know what I mean? Like he's a pathological liar. He cannot help himself but to lie. And this right here is a rare moment of truth from him, I think.
And I would agree with you. This is just pure honesty. Just like the truth, like cracked. Like his powers of controlling his maniacism are weakening as age and whatever he gets his kicks from, or has debilitated his mind. Look, we have steered away from showing clips of the things he says, the slurring of his words up on a stage when he's talking from his campaign rallies. But this dude this dude is not of right mind, because no one is dumb enough to ever say something like that. And should that person actually exist, they should be nowhere near the seat of power among the world's mightiest military force. He literally said to Sean Hannity, and when Sean Hannity, they had what was this? It was something, the town hall.
There is video. I don't know if we want to play this video and let him speak for himself. I don't know if that's something we want to do or not.
I think that, you know what, that's a great idea, Ben.
Let's see what happens. We have not played this video. I don't know what's going to happen now that I've pressed play.
At a Fox town hall tonight, the former president refused to say something very important. Sean Hannity tried to give Donald Trump an out, to put to bed these stories about a second term and what it would look like, and whether there is a specter of authoritarianism or fascism. Trump refused to say no.
Any way have any plans whatsoever, if reelected president, to abuse power, to break the law, to use the government to go after people?
You mean like they're using right now? So, in the history of our country, what's happened to us, again, has never happened before. Over nonsense, over nothing, made up charges.
I want to go back to this one issue, though, because the media has been focused on this and attacking you.
Yeah.
Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight you would never abuse power as retribution.
He had to go back because he didn't get an answer the
Except for
first
day
time.
one.
Except for
Joining
day
now
one.
is Tim Albert.
All right, we don't need to be joined by anybody on that, but Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. Like, again, that's Sean Hannity's thing, or that's Trump's thing, excuse me. He never answers a question directly. A direct question never gets a direct answer from Donald Trump. It's always he uses it somehow to snake it back around to spew some sort of propaganda about how he's being wronged and everything's a lie and everything's made up. And like, dude, we heard you on the phone asking for votes. It's
Right.
not made up. We heard your fucking voice, asshole. We saw the fucking documents piled up in your bathroom. We saw them. Like, it's not made up. Like, but this guy is just a fucking he cannot, he's a reject. He's just he cannot tell a straight answer. He just cannot give a straight answer.
But listen, so there was more. The clip cut short because, of course, they want to talk about that terrible soundbite that on day one, even if he was making a joke, you don't make that joke. Here's the quote, right? Under no circumstances you were promising America tonight you should never abuse power as retribution against anybody, except for day one. I want to close the border and I want to drill, Trump replied. Hannity responded that Trump's answers sounded policy focused rather than addressing whether he'd seek political retribution against the enemies. Trump also pointed to his own 4 indictments and dismissed 91 criminal charges as made up and nonsense. This is a quote from the 45th president of the United States. This is a quote. I often say Al Capone, he was one of the greatest of all time. If you like criminals, he said.
If you like criminals.
And he got indicted once. I got indicted 4 times.
Is that a flex? Is he trying to use that as like a flex?
He's at the point now where he's just basically telling you the truth. And it's so stupefying for anybody who's got 3 brain cells left at this point to like, wait, what? We're so what? Dude, is the news covering that he just compared himself to Al Capone, who he then called one of the greatest of all time?
Criminals of all time. And like he qualifies it. He qualifies it. He makes sure you understand what he's saying when he says he's one of the greatest of all time. If you like criminals, right? So what he's saying there is he's one of the greatest criminals of all time. He only got indicted once. I got indicted 4 times. It's he's using it as a flex. It's like a
Campaign
bragging
tool.
point. It's a bragging point.
Oh,
What?
Joe, he didn't stop there. This is another
course he
quote.
didn't.
I will appoint a real special prosecutor to go after the most corrupt president in the history of the United States of America, Joe Biden, and the entire Biden crime family, the former president said in June after his arraignment in Florida. I will totally obliterate the deep state. Again, he's deflecting. Insert the name Donald J. Trump for Joe Biden. And then that statement is the most fucking true statement of all the times.
Absolutely. Yeah, you could argue it for sure. You know, there are some pretty corrupt past presidents. You know, Harry Truman was fairly corrupt. But yeah, you could make a strong argument. Like that's what they call projecting, right? When you're projecting something about yourself. Yeah,
Okay.
you may have. I don't know, but for me, it happens a lot on social media when people project something that they feel about themselves onto someone else and try to scold them for feelings that they have themselves. Like they project their own feelings onto others, and that's what that quote is. You're right, because if you said the most corrupt president in the history of the United States, Donald Trump, and the entire Trump crime family, we now know, we're seeing it play out in real time, that the Trumps are a crime family for all intents and purposes. They committing multiple crimes on multiple levels, both state and federal. Like, I mean,
no fucks given.
They don't give a shit about the rules. The Trump family has never cared about rules or laws or anything that other than making themselves look to be more than they are.
And not even rich, to be honest with you, because they're not rich. This organization does not have assets.
Why he steadfastly refused to release his taxes. This is something that is a basic thing that every president before and now after has done as just part of the process. He also didn't divest in his companies like every president before and after has done and will do when they become president. He purposefully did not do that and enriched his businesses and his family because of his seat as president. Maddening.
Stony McGee, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
So, and here, so we're not talking about the isolated rantings of a crazy person. I mean, we are, but the isolated part, not so much, because it's a little bit different this time. A lot of people learned a lot of things from January 6th. And including how to whip up a crowd, how to incite violence, how to direct former law enforcement and military people exposing themselves in
No, Brooks. Those were FBI plants,
right,
that were there to make the Trump supporters look bad. You don't understand. That's why they were there helping. They were there to purposely fool all of those Trump supporters into rushing the Capitol building. It was Antifa and BLM and the FBI.
Because that's who Trump was talking to when he said on that debate stage, Proud Boys, stand down, stand by. Right? It wasn't, that was just a
no. That was Antifa.
What? That was, he was secretly talking to Antifa. So it's important to note now that he's already throwing out similar dog whistles, and he's been using the term guard the vote out on his campaign trails.
Yeah, that's interesting, huh?
It's very interesting because, and this is from U.S. News and World Report. Sounds fancy.
It does.
We
don't use them often, but
not enough. Guard the vote. Here's the phrase's backstory and why it's raising concern. Former Donald. He is a former Donald. Former President Donald J. Trump is urging supporters to guard the vote during next year's election, a phrase that has set off an alarm amongst pro-democracy advocates who say it signals permission for his followers to take extreme measures.
Of course it does. What else could it fucking mean?
So I'm going to skip through the story a little bit to bring up an old friend of the show, Michael Flynn.
Yes.
Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn has spent months repeating that phrase in posts, speeches, and interviews. And Victor Malloy, a close Flynn associate, told the Associated Press that he's setting up a new group called Guard the Vote ahead of the 2024 elections. Mellor provided AP a video that showed the group's new, quote, command center, end quote, in a Florida building that houses Flynn's offices. Trump just employed the phrase in Ankeny, Iowa, go figure, and on just this weekend, on Saturday, saying his followers need to guard the vote because, quote, we have all the votes we need, end quote.
Oh my God.
What
How
kind
could
of
you
fucked up admission is that?
Yeah, right. Again, like I'm starting to believe, Brooks, that we're getting to the point that he is so delusional that he is now speaking the truth out loud. Like, this is so weird to see some sort of like honesty, and I don't know that he even realizes what he's doing. I sincerely doubt that he does truly understand, what he's doing. Or maybe he does, but this is fascinating to see him so exposing himself, so to speak.
Just kind of laying it out there. Or is it just like he knows he has support? He has half of the U.S. government.
We've already found the votes.
He knows that. Well, okay, so let me finish the rest of the quote, because he then said he encouraged his supporters to, quote, go into cities including Detroit, Philadelphia, and Atlanta to watch those votes when they come in.
Watch those votes. What are you going to do?
And
do what?
Any the connections between, I don't know, those three cities, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Atlanta? Anyone? That they have larger African American and Black Hispanic populations?
Democratic.
Oh, stronghold for sure, right? Atlanta's getting weird, but obviously Detroit,
sure,
right? But like, I mean, I'm surprised it didn't say Chicago, but people know better.
Right. But don't make any mistake. What he is asking for is his followers to go out and intimidate on election day under the guise of we're just watching the votes. Remember this last time, there was all this nonsense about people wanting to watch the counts, and they stopped the counts at night. They have stopped the counts at night in every election for decades. But you dumbasses didn't know any better. And then we're going to have a bunch of new dumbasses that don't know anything about the process taking pictures of bins being put into vans and saying that those are being thrown away in the middle of the night when they have no fucking idea what are in those bins, where they're going, what they're doing. It just, all it does is muddy the waters. It allows the waters to be muddied enough by enough people that you're right back where we were last time, where when you lose, you can immediately say it was stolen. This is, he was setting it up before the last election, and he's doing it again. He is setting us all up for the same bullshit.
And the big media is out there putting it out there that I can't stop talking about Biden's dementia, and yes, Biden's political. Again, this is not a pro-Biden show. Let's,
by any means,
right? Given the choice between the two, I would pick Biden, but I also understand like one extreme feeds.
Did you call him Dick Biden? Did you just call him Dick Biden?
Dick Biden. That sounds like maybe I
think that's what I thought. I thought I heard that. Maybe it was just me hearing it, but I thought he said Dick Biden, which I think we should just start calling him Dick Biden.
That we can get away from like libel and slander laws and stuff.
Although we keep saying that word, we're going to get booted off of Facebook. Facebook's algorithm does not like that word, even if you're saying it as a person's name. You know that?
Okay. No, really?
Yeah, that's why, like, if you watch like TikTok reels and stuff on Facebook, they like bleep the word out, even if it's someone's name, and even like on the captions, they like take it off. They like edit it because the Facebook algorithm, or all these social media sites, the algorithm is looking for certain words, obviously, both audio and written, and so to get around it, they don't like the word dick.
Well, but we got a show for you because the rest of this show is.
I can't believe we haven't been booted off already. To be honest with you.
Honestly, there's going to be an issue with one of the stories in the lightning round. That's all I'm going to say. And it's a terrible thing that we just kind of make a crack at this moment, because the segue intended here was, if you're going to support this guy, this false god, this false prophet, this cult leader, if you're going to support him, this next story is what's coming to a town, a state, federal government near you.
This is I didn't even see this until I just went to go pull it up. This is fucking horrific. What is going on here? So, okay, a woman in Warren, Ohio has been charged with abuse of a corpse for trying to plunge a toilet after having a miscarriage at 22 months. Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh.
Brittany Watts overcome with emotion after learning her case is moving forward. Watts is charged with felony abuse of a corpse, accused of trying to plunge a toilet after having a miscarriage delivery at 22 weeks while using the restroom.
She said she felt the baby come out and there was a big splash.
Investigators say they found a baby stuck in a toilet at Watts' home on September 22nd. Forensic pathologist Dr. George Sturbins testified an autopsy found no injury to the fetus and that the unborn baby had died before passing through the birth canal. He says Watts' medical records showed she visited the hospital twice before the delivery.
This fetus was going to be non-viable. Okay. And it was going to be non-viable because she had premature rupture of membranes. Her water had broken early, and the fetus was too young to be delivered.
Both the assistant prosecutor and Watts' attorney argued why this case should or should not move forward.
The issue isn't how the child died, when the child died. It's the fact that the baby was put into a toilet large enough to clog up the toilet, left in that toilet, and she went on her day.
This 33-year-old girl with no criminal record is demonized for something that goes on every day.
Judge Terry Ivanchek found probable cause to bind the case over.
This guy, listen.
Determine the exact legal status of this fetus, corpse, body, birthing tissue, whatever it is. Matter of fact, I'm assuming that's what most of these issue one's all about. At what point something becomes viable.
In Warren, Nadine Grimley, WKBN 27 First News.
Holy shit.
So fuck two people, right? Fuck that prosecutor.
Yeah, what a douche.
That dude, right? And all the fucks given to that judge for basically kicking it down the road.
Kicking the can, yes. That's what I was thinking.
Might know better.
What are you on the job? What are you doing there? What are you there for? Why are you in that position? Did you just admit that you're not capable of being a judge? Is that what you just admitted to us, sir? That's what, if I'm the lawyer, I'm going, what are you doing?
Your robes, sir.
Right.
The next statement after that ludicrous decision.
There's people smarter than me. Then what are you doing judging anyone for anything, sir?
Then maybe this whole thing sucks. And this whole idea, and maybe you should have
said, my God.
Because you want a prosecutor for abuse of a... What? That's what's coming.
And is it any coincidence that it's a black woman?
Oh, there's no, and that they made her watch that. She had to sit there and go through this whole thing, and this, basically after having a miscarriage of a non-viable birth,
said by a doctor on the stand. We heard him say that there was no chance that this baby was going to survive.
She actually went to the ER like 2 days prior to that, complaining of like abnormal bleeding. And they basically,
And like what happens with a lot of black women, she was probably told it's not that bad.
sent home.
Go back home.
Yes, so that's what happened.
That's so terrible. It's so sad.
I think we need a palate cleanse because that was intense.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. And by the way, Chompy Mage
Hi,
coming at
Chompy.
us from YouTube. I'm not sure if it's it's someone that we know or someone that just found us on YouTube, but welcome to the show, Chompy Mage. And yes, stick around for the lightning round. If it's your first time with the lightning round, you will be definitely happy that you stuck around. So
it's fun.
Indeed. All right. So what do we got here?
Palate cleanse, sir. This
yes.
is the Shy Jumping Juniors, and they were participating in the Be Part of the Light, an annual tradition decorating homes along King Drive here in Chicago for the holidays. Right on.
Oh, it's young Aaron. Gotcha. That's cool. That's cool. I love that.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing talent to do this. It really is.
There's one that's super good. She's tiny, and that probably helps. But this one. This is incredible. Like I just broke my hip watching that.
Right.
She's got Riz.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Whoa, that girl's getting it.
And I know news happens fast, especially around these parts, right? Gigi doesn't like me using the word Riz. She thinks I'm too old. That just means I got a lot of Riz.
I used the word bet with my son the other day, earlier today in a text message, and he just wrote me back, okay, question mark.
Okay.
There we go.
Back to, hey, it only took a week. And something crazy happened that only happened in Congress like 7 or 8 times. They actually expelled one of their own. That's not even the real headline of the story. George Santos has reportedly been making 6 figures by selling cameo videos.
If I'd have known this before earlier in the week, I think I might have gotten you a
Don't
cameo.
scroll. Don't scroll. So let's play a game. What do you think the price point was, Ben, for
it's astronomical.
No, pre being kicked out of unceremoniously and unhonorably kicked out of U.S. Congress, pre cameo price point.
So before he was kicked out, his cameo price point was, and I don't know how this works, but I'm going to say $300.
Okay, no.
Okay, is that very high?
That's insanely high.
Okay, I don't know what a cameo costs, but I would imagine George Santos is the type of asshole that charges a lot for a cameo. You know
you got that right. So prior, when he was just selling on the fact that he was a congressperson, it was $75 per video.
Okay.
Ben,
that's a lot for someone to just say hi to you, but okay.
Ben, how much do you think those same videos are going for now?
Well, I know that now I know $300 is a lot. So I'm going to say I'm going to say $250.
Okay, let's play a little game in the the world's most dangerous chat zone.
Yeah, any other guesses?
Ben says it's $250. Do you think Ben is too high or too low? We're gonna do a little Price is Right here. So
that's
Ben,
Jeopardy.
Ben, no, yeah, but it's fine. It works for the overall aesthetic of the show. So Ben thinks that post leaving Congress,
after he's been disgraced,
after charging $75 before getting kicked out of Congress, what is George Santos charging now? Ben says $250. Is he too high or too low?
Aaron says too low.
Aaron says too low.
But he's making 6 figures.
We're just gonna jump right through it because maybe somebody's cooking me dinner right now and can't get to the keyboard. But is listening.
Oh
on their
wow.
earbuds.
Okay, I couldn't help it, and I scrolled down.
He's selling them for $400 a pop now.
Wow.
Which, according to Cameo's CEO, is on the level of Sarah Jessica Parker, Bon Jovi. I don't know why they picked those two. Probably because
those are like, and those aren't even like, if that's the high end celebrities on Cameo,
that's how he's making his money, right? Out of a guy who got kicked out of Congress. Oh, he got trolled by John Fetterman of Pennsylvania. He bought a Cameo from Santos in support of New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez, who also faces federal charges for bribery and extortion. So, I guess Santos found it humorous because he pocketed $400. Of course he did, right?
I'm glad you brought up Fetterman, because John Fetterman is the only person that I saw or know of, or has been reported on at least, that in the discussions about George Santos has brought up New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez.
Oh, he's going hard.
And hard on him and said, okay, if we're okay, and I am okay, he has said, I am okay with what they're doing, what they've done to George Santos. He should be expelled. But what he has done is actually far less criminal, so to speak, and far less nefarious than what Menendez has been accused of. And if we're expelling just on accusations, not on actual criminal charges, as they are doing with Santos, it only, and as you pointed out, Al Franken, for a lot less than both George Santos and Bob Menendez, was kicked out and for all intents and purposes, basically forced to resign. He
fell at a sword.
Yeah. Bob Menendez, surely, and I'm glad that Fetterman has the balls, and I like it. I like that. I think it needs to be brought up. It's that if you're going to have a platform, and he's going to be on the national news talking about it, I think he was on The View when he actually brought it up. But yeah, dude, Fetterman, bring up Bob Menendez, because fuck it, that guy needs to go too.
Yeah, a lot more too. Because have you heard the name Andy Ogles?
No, I don't know that name.
Andy Ogles is
that's something I should know.
You're about to hear his name, I believe, a lot more. He's a congressman, just like Mr. Santos, except now from Tennessee, like Middle Tennessee, I guess.
Nothing good ever comes out of Tennessee.
Generally not.
Except for Taylor Swift, maybe.
I'll take that, but they can have the White Sox too, by the way.
Sure.
Oh, apparently
Nashville could just implode into the ground, and I'd be okay with
it. The Predators can go to hell. 14 years.
Country music, fuck them.
I guess Broadway is pretty cool, the street, if you like that. But anyway, from Nashville, Tennessee, from WTFVW. Where did Congressman Andy Ogles get $320,000 that he claims to have loaned his own campaign? As Channel 5 News investigates follow the money involving Middle Tennessee's newest member of Congress, that investigation turned up even more questions about the Maury County Republican. Ogles made the dramatic claim in reports filed with the Federal Election Commission during the 2022 campaign, raising eyebrows amongst some because the former Maury County mayor had never been seen as a person of great wealth. Now in Congress, News Channel 5 Investigates discovered that Ogles has not disclosed any substantial investments. He doesn't even report having a savings account. Quote, I think this is the biggest question. Where did this money come from? That's Danielle Caputo. She's legal counsel for ethics with the Washington-based Campaign Legal Center.
I think it's a fair question.
It's a real fair question, but it gets even more weird So he got a grace period, multiple grace periods. It turns out that he missed like 3 different deadlines to file this report. Then mysteriously added in that he was a co-signer, or his in-laws were a co-signer for a $700,000 loan that he has no absolute like bank record of. It gets weird.
Yeah. Where does that money? It didn't just come out of nowhere.
For a person who, and this is what George Santos did, loaned himself in his campaign money from where? Working in a call center?
Right. This guy being mayor of some backwoods county in Tennessee, he's got $320,000 just sitting around, capable of not just sitting around, but able to just be given to a campaign. Like, come on, the amount of bullshit being radiated off of this story is just astounding.
And allowed, because this guy, here it is. He was 3 days late filing his first campaign finance report, then 6 days late, still not filing it 7 days past the filing deadline. This is a quote from Tennessee Star political editor Aaron Goldbranson. There were, quote, issues retrieving bank records. What? First of all, you didn't have a fucking savings account, pardon my French. So
right, so what bank records?
Right. And it's 2020, whatever. And you had
right, and the host called him out on it, thankfully.
Right. Yes. You're fucking this is BS. And this guy might not.
Bank records, you can literally go online right now if you have a bank account, and you can print up. Yes, save the PDF. Your entire bank records for at least the last year. You could probably go back further than that, but I know for a fact you can at least go back into the last year and show your every transaction that has happened on your account.
And if you had something that you needed to hide, this is not a good way of hiding it.
Right? That's just it. Like, okay, you did this thing where you've gotten this mysterious $320,000, right?
You're hoping
you didn't give a shit about covering your tracks on this. You just dumped the money right into the fucking campaign.
Well, it had to have been cash, I guess, because he didn't have a savings account.
Right. Like, bags of money. Where did the bags of money come from?
That's how they understand how to use money back in Middle Tennessee, apparently. But yeah, there's no way a mayor of a small town in Tennessee has a spare $320 grand.
Not if he doesn't have any significant investments, which he would have had to have disclosed, or assets. Right. Exactly.
Nothing adds up. So I hope this is the next Santos, and that they just keep pressing this, because at this point, if you're going to do it, and we know you do, we know they do, we know about insider trading, we know that there's all kinds of like look it up in simple bank records and be like, hey, these numbers don't match. What's the story here? I don't know. Am I asking too much from my criminal politicians? Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. I have expectations. I don't know what the segue is here, Ben. I've never seen humpback whales hunt.
Nature, fucking crazy. Again, another reason to never go in the ocean.
So what you're about to watch is a video of humpback whales performing what they call bubble net feeding.
Oh, I've seen this before on a nature special. This is actually pretty incredible and ingenious.
So they're spiraling down in a Fibonacci spiral, by the way. They're spiraling down as they're puffing out these air bubbles that are then trapping fish and bringing up to the surface and then they're feeding on those fish that got trapped in those air bubbles. It's a ponderosa over there for those humpback whales.
Wait,
The
that's a
cool-
Fibonacci?
Spiral?
Yeah.
Spiral out, Ben. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that symmetry.
The symmetry is incredible there. And
You see
what's
the
also
feet
incredible
counts.
is that this is obviously a knowledge that has been passed down by generations for. I mean, whales have been around for what, millions of years at this point? I don't know if that's overstating it.
Here's the quote, and this is even more incredible than this, is that this is not instinctual behavior. This is learned. That
Right,
not
passed
all
down,
humpback pods, not all humpback whale pods know how to do this.
That's incredible too. Yep. See, that's a family secret kind of deal.
They're using their voiced signals which are basically sonar to coordinate what they're doing here, just to get yourself a
Incredible.
meal. It's amazing.
It really is.
I don't mean to. It gets fun after this. I promise.
That was fun. So
this next one's not so fun. This is another hot point that we're going to have to keep our eyes on, because if it wasn't Syria, then it was, Ukraine, it was then Iran, and now it's, Gaza and Israel. Guyana, which you've never heard of before, which is a neighbor of Venezuela. Well, Venezuela had a little referendum in which 90% of the people voted to annex the most oil, mineral, and resource-rich part of this country called Guyana. And the president basically said, we will use that territory to its maximum to mine and harvest those resources. And now political and military tensions are on the rise. This, Ben, is the number one reason why when somebody rolls into somewhere they are not supposed to be and suddenly claim this is ours now, if you and your friends can, do not hesitate to stomp the ever-living shit out of that country and say, get the fuck out, go back to where you came from.
I'm surprised Venezuela is doing this, honestly. I don't know if they've had a change in regime, but I believe it's still Maduro.
It is Maduro,
and that's very interesting because he's socialist. I mean, in a lot of ways,
real close ties to Putin too. By the way,
I mean, yeah.
So who's he watching?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, he's looking out for. Yeah, he's looking out for Putin and Russia and the oil.
Well, not only that, but he's watching how the world's responding to what Putin has been doing in Ukraine and Syria, basically unchallenged. Yes, there's, we're giving Ukraine just enough to kind of put up a fight, right? When we could have just sent them, here are all the toys, boys, go get them out. Do us a favor, please, right?
Right.
So we're setting the example that, you know what? This is kind of okay on the world stage. Here's why that bothers me. And yes, that's why most of the immigrants and migrants here are from Venezuela. No shit, Ben.
Yeah, but because to his credit, though, it's weird, but he did retake and nationalize the oil reserve. He took away for the privatization of oil companies, and for all intents and purposes, now again, like most people do, and when they get a little bit of power, they overstep that, and it gets to their head a little bit, I think, and that's probably what happened with Maduro. But his intent and what rose him to power was the fact that he took the oil and the money that was coming in to that country for their oil and did give a lot of it back to the people, did take that money and reinvest it into society the way that it was supposed to. Now, it like everything else, it gets corrupted when you get a lot of money in people's hands and control of a lot of money. The what's the inclination, for lack of a better word, I can't think of right now, the temptation to become corrupt and put a little bit more in your pocket, and $2 for me, $1 for them kind of situation.
It sounds like it might have slipped into that, although I don't know. Maybe next time we'll do a deep dive into some Venezuela. Maybe we'll have to, because this is there's already a report that there's a Guyanan military helicopter missing on the border with Venezuela. So as we speak, this situation could be escalating.
And this could also very well be one of those situations where Maduro it doesn't play nice with the American government, right? And this is one of those situations, right? And this is another one of those situations where the U.S. government may be playing behind the scenes and pushing Guyana and saying, "Okay, we'll support you if you stand up to this guy," because of it's Venezuela and because they don't agree with the politics of Maduro. This is another one of those situations where they're going to use another country as a kind of a proxy, for the United States.
Think about this also. It does cause another distraction, whether it's military or diplomatic, for the United States, which helps Putin, which was the gift that Hamas gave Vladimir Putin on his birthday. Right?
Yeah.
And there's only so far you can stretch even the world's mightiest military, right? I get to that point where other countries will be like, "Oh yeah, well, what are you gonna do?" Right? Like,
right, sure.
Holding it down everywhere else. And that I can see that happening too. So all right, it's not all doom and gloom, right? There are actually some really cool, good things happening right now. And the first being a $3 billion grant from President Dick Biden's infrastructure plan to create not one but several high-speed rail lines in California. One that we're going to talk about that's going to connect Southern California, south part of LA, right through to Las Vegas.
That's awesome.
Isn't that really, really freaking cool?
I mean, we've been talking about this on this show for a long time. This is a subject that you and I have both kind of railed on a little bit or rallied for, is this idea
unintended.
High speed rail and replacing airplane travel, or reducing airplane travel, or the necessity of airplane travel and long distance car travel. Like, this country would be so much better off if we had set up and stayed with the rail system from the beginning and just improved the rail system instead of moving to automobiles. The planet itself and this country would probably be better off. The environment would definitely have been better off if we had just stuck with rails and expanded that to high speed rails eventually. Imagine if every major city was connected via high speed rail with stops along the way in small cities, so that you could still live in the suburbs and easily commute into the city and then back. And it wouldn't take hours. It could take, you could travel a distance that would maybe take 11 hours, even by car, or 7 hours by plane, but can get there in 2 hours by high speed rail. Like, how much more efficient as a country will we be? Now we're playing from so far behind that while this is great news and an awesome step in the right direction, it's like, it also feels like a drop in the bucket. Like, this is almost a waste of $3 billion.
Yes and no. I mean, we need to do this, so it has to start somewhere, and apparently
got to start somewhere. I get that.
There's a reason they chose this route. There's good old I-15, which actually is the highways and already existing rail system that connects, I guess, this hub in LA and Vegas. So they're going to build this new high-speed line parallel to that. So that part of it's not like they got to carve through mountains to get the, so that
right.
Part of the
it's already in place.
Right.
Yeah.
What they're looking to do actually is to reduce a ton of the automobile traffic, right? Because apparently people make the trip between LA and Vegas a ton. They literally tens of millions of annual trips, the vast majority of which are done by car. So they're trying to do that, right? They're trying to reduce that particular corridor traffic and emissions, right?
Well,
This
LA's
company,
got terrible traffic to begin with,
anything that helps reduce
regardless.
that,
Yeah.
right? This company is called Brightline, and they have experience running a rail service in Florida. Apparently, they created an expansion route that goes from Orlando to Miami, and they said it's a resounding success with almost 80,000 passengers taking the train from Orlando to South Florida in October. That's a 101% increase in ridership from the year previous. That train is just going to go 125 miles an hour. The one we're talking about in Vegas is apparently going to go like 185 miles an hour.
Yeah. Up to 180, which is
Yeah.
halves the travel time. Cuts it in half.
Absolutely. With little stops, and it's not like you gotta wait to land and go through checkpoint. I mean, you might, but who knows at this point? It's topsy-turvy world, folks. But we need this. We need this badly. And a train is a great way to see the country too, right?
Mhm.
It just to see the different landscapes and such.
I would
Hey,
gladly take high speed rail for a vacation. I think that I love riding on trains. I loved it. Even when I lived in Chicago, riding the train in the metro around town. I always thought that was a great way to do it. It's relaxing. You can just throw some headphones on. There's some sightseeing. You can people watch. And it's not a terrible. I used to go back out to the suburbs on the train.
Yeah.
It's a very easy way to travel. Very easy.
yeah, really simple actually, right? I did the same. I traveled into the city to go to school and all that fun stuff. So more of that, please. We need more infrastructure because, again, bridges and all that stuff have a lifetime span. Hey, Ben, we talk about AI all the time on the show.
We do. Yeah. Apparently it's about to change humanity for the worse. And we just don't know exactly how, but we're just going to drop that nugget on you.
And there are no good odds. And as to any one particular flavor of AI is which one's going to end us, right?
Right.
An AI chemist found a molecule that can make oxygen on Mars after sifting through millions of molecules. And
Hold on, an AI chemist. So
Yeah.
what? Hold on a minute. We're talking about a computer chemist.
Correct. Let me
What
explain.
the fuck?
This is from our friends at space.com. Using meteorites from Mars, an AI-powered robot chemist synthesized compounds that could be used to generate oxygen from water, scientists announced on Monday, November 13th. Potential future crewed missions to Mars will need oxygen, not just for astronauts to breathe, but also to use as rocket propellant. One key way to make missions cost effective in the long run is to use resources already on the red planet to create oxygen. That'd be much easier than lugging a bunch of oxygen and oxygen producing materials all the way from Earth. Sounds smart. Yeah. The idea is promising because Mars does possess significant reserves of frozen water ice. Because water is made of hydrogen and oxygen, scientists have been looking for ways to harvest the latter element from those Martian reserves. That is a great wine, by the way. If you
Martian reserves.
You get anything from Martian reserves, that is a great wine. In particular, compounds known as catalysts, Tambor, are capable of spurring chemical reactions that split water molecules to generate oxygen and hydrogen gas. What are you talking about, Brooks? To go on, what they explain is that this AI chemist sifted through billions of different calculations in a time that it would have taken us about 1,000 years to do.
Jeez.
To find specific catalysts like chemicals that would separate the 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen molecule in water to give us 2 hydrogen peroxide, actually. But I think the hydrogen molecules break too because the ionic bonds separate. So you get 2 hydrogen atoms that float off, which hydrogen could be used as fuel too. And you get an oxygen, which they use in rocket fuel. Actually, it would have taken 2,000 years, according to the researcher from the University of Science and Technology in China. That is insane. They also found that the best catalyst could split the water at minus 34.6 degrees. That's the kind of cold temperature found on none other than Mars.
Wow.
So
Science.
that's cool. That's cool, right? You want that. That's a great use of science, right? AI, like
Right.
making calculations.
This seems like a
and
positive use of. I don't know if you're gonna like hit me with the whoop-de-whoop here
Oh,
and
I
give me
am.
why this is terrible, but it
No.
sounds like it's a great idea. Now
Not that
hit me
story.
with the whoop-de-whoop. Oh,
Here's
okay.
here's a pump your brakes, like, hey, that was great. Wait, what? No, don't do it. From New Scientist, DNA nanobots can exponentially self-replicate.
What?
Say what? DNA nanobots can exponentially self-replicate. Tiny machines made from strands of DNA can build copies of themselves, leading to exponential replication. Similar devices could one day be used to create drugs inside the body. We won't have bodies at that point.
Right. Oh my god.
Nanoscale robots made of DNA that rapidly self-replicate could be used to harness to manufacture drugs or other chemicals inside the body, researchers say. That sounds cool. That sounds great. But no thanks. They created tiny machines, which are just 100 nanometers apart, about using 4 strands of DNA. That's tiny. These nanobots are held in a solution. And with these DNA raw strand materials, they arrange into copies of themselves one at a time by using their own structure as a scaffold. Team didn't respond to a request from Comet because they were murdered.
Right. Yeah.
Technology stolen.
Yes.
Never to be seen until it infects our whatever. No, I'm not one of those people. Not one of those people. That's a pump the brakes on that, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, one more before we go to I was about to say one more before we go to break. We don't take a break. Iron Man through the whole thing. One more story before we do the little video that kind of washes us all away and gets us ready for the lightning round. Researchers from the Tohoku University have found a way to stimulate nerves connected to the pancreas to regenerate insulin-producing cells. Insulin is a hormone that decreases blood glucose levels. I think I said glucose. I'm not drinking this. I'm not drinking this anymore, by the way. That's
Tony Kukoc. I thought you were Kukoc.
Tony Glucose.
Yes.
The only cells that produce insulin are the pancreatic beta cells, and a decrease in these cells is a majority cause of diabetes. Although therapies aimed at increasing pancreatic B cells are eagerly awaited, a strategy that can increase beta cells has thus far not been developed. In a promising development, a research group has revealed that stimulating autonomic vagal nerves connected to the pancreas can improve the function and also increase the number of pancreatic beta cells in mice. They also used chemicals to stimulate, or in some cases suppress, light receptors in the brain to stimulate and send electrical impulses through your vagal nerve, which is like the brain stem, like the biggest, like long nerve in your body, to literally stimulate the pancreas to create these cells.
Wow. That's a pretty big breakthrough.
That is insane. That they developed compounds.
So let me again help me wrap my brain around this. Make sure I'm wrapping my brain
around mine too.
They have figured out a way to stimulate the pancreas to create insulin, which obviously everybody knows that is something that is in dire need of by a lot of people and is also extremely expensive for a lot of people, right? So if you could create something that would stimulate it and create it within the person's own body, well, you would have a lesser need for insulin, which is so expensive because it's very expensive to produce. Right?
They use a process called optogenics, which, according to Wikipedia, is a biological technique to control the activity of neurons and other cell types with light. This is achieved by expression of light-sensitive ion channels, pumps, enzymes, specifically in the target cell.
Wow, just they're using light to do it. That's incredible. That's even more crazy.
We've long been told by the whispers of our ancient ancestors that light is important, that our brains do respond to light. So apparently they ain't wrong. And there's a lot of study behind this. So this is not coming to market in probably our lifetimes, unless something crazy happens and AI accelerates all of this before slowly choking a life out of it.
Anything is possible at this point.
But just some of the cool things outside of the scary things science does. It's a double-edged sword. You got to take it the way it is. Speaking of taking it the way it is, folks, that is the definition of the lightning round.
Yes. But first, this is not the first. I'll admit I brought this to the table this week. I sent this to you earlier today. This is not the first time that I have brought in Casual Geographic to the table. Casual Geographic is a great social media follow. If you aren't already following him, I definitely suggest, if you like animals and knowledge about animals, it's awesome. He's awesome, but also the man is an incredible wordsmith. His ability with words is incredible. And so without further ado, he has this video about a crocodile and a hippo, and I'm just going to let him take it from here.
My mother couldn't be. I know these niggas ain't at the watering hole doing this. I ain't even finna say excuse me. Let me think about it real quick.
Nah, because I don't think the general public understands how OD disrespectful hippos are. Completely unprovoked, mind you. We're all made in God's image, except hippos. They were straight up storyboarded by Satan. Nature really dropped the land whale with a whole attitude problem and just let the rest of the world deal with it. Not for nothing, their dental can divide a crocodile in half with no calculator. And getting caught in a hippo pool party with no invite can get you humbled by the whole hood. Didn't think I'd live long enough to feel bad for a giga-sized assault gecko. And if that wasn't demoralizing enough, imagine getting to the point where the ops' kids don't respect you. Full disclosure, an adult crocodile can fully put a half-cooked hippo on a shirt. But keep in mind that touching their child means this outcome is never far behind. So what's he gonna do? Exactly what he is doing. Nothing. I didn't think something with a perma-smirk could look so done with life. There's a reason why they do this. I just don't really know what it is. Some scientists say it's them licking salt off them, or the homicide hydro horse doesn't even acknowledge a whole predator as a living thing, but more as a teething ring. Again, I didn't think I could empathize with a crocodile, but imagine being an apex predator. You ran with dinosaurs and outlasted them, only to get punked by some chubby water pig's progeny. Only the child of a 3,000-pound Karen could ever. At least we have elephants. They be throwing hella fists just for the hell of it.
Baby water pig.
Oh yeah, baby water pigs, hydro. What was the other one? Hydro hog something. The guy's a wordsmith. His ability with words to describe things in a unique way, but you know exactly what he's saying. I just love his delivery, and so I can't get enough of Casual Geographics, and definitely encourage everyone to go smarten themselves up about animals by following him.
There's no better way to segue into the lightning round, because I was premature in my trying to be rude hippos are. There we are, folks. It's the lightning round, and the bolts are already showing up in the old thing we call the dangerous jet zone. That's the lightning, or the Thunderdome. Sorry, it is the lightning round. If you're new here or not, let's just go over the rules really quick here. I'm going to read 3 headlines, and you choose the story. It's a democracy, and everything gets chosen by you, the people. So, without dilly and or dally, we don't want none of that. Here is headline number 1. California deer statue vandal revealed as amorous buck. Okay. Botched it. I'm on the entry. Let me try that one. Well, just headline number 2. Headline number 2. Runaway kangaroo punches officer in the face while being captured in Canada.
Yes, I saw video of this. It's incredible.
And headline number 3. Study. The serotonin bat uses its super large penis as an arm when mating. Let's go over that one more time just in case.
Oh, You warned us, and it still got me.
I tried to warn you. I tried to.
Oh,
Headline
unbelievable.
number 1. California deer statue vandal revealed as an amorous buck. Headline number 2. Runaway kangaroo punches police officer in the face while being captured in Canada.
It is a Sophie's choice.
And
It's
headline
so
number
good.
3. Somebody's got to go. Headline number 3. The serotonin bat uses its super large penis as an arm when mating.
It's so hard. Both 2 and 3 are so good.
That's what the bat
I
said.
mean, 1's not bad either. But you got bat penis. You've got fucking kangaroos punching cops. Oh man, what the fuck's a kangaroo even doing in Canada? Like
you got questions there, right?
Right, just like, and I'm not the only one with questions on this because the oh man, this is good. Oh, it's the string.
We got that's a lot of votes. It's 5-1. We got a couple more folks out there waiting to hear their votes. We got I haven't heard from Dad F and Brooks here, and I'm waiting for Chompy Mage. You can have a vote here too. Ma Jordan in with a vote.
No, he did. He voted number 2.
There he is, number 3. Chompy Mage has got to number 2. Okay, all right. Well, I think that's the majority of everybody left here. So I think we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
and,
I think we do too. They've spoken.
Give me 1 second here to while I send Ben the link. I haven't seen her in the chat, but I want to wish Yo Adrian a very happy belated birthday.
Yes, we were in Las Vegas this last weekend for Adrian's birthday and had a tremendous time. Ate some of the best.
You find something to do out there?
Yes, and it wasn't a whole lot of gambling, honestly. You didn't do a ton of gambling, did a lot of eating. Really good food. That was our mission, was to go to Vegas and eat good food, and we ate a tremendous amount of really good food. It was her first time ever being in Vegas. Got to take her down to Old Vegas to see Fremont Street and all the old school lights. Like, it's one thing to be down there, and yes, shout out to Ma Jordan for flying down and babysitting.
Oh, Ma Jordan, right on.
The kids that enjoyed having Ma Jordan and her friend Robin come down for a couple of days and hang out. But yeah, downtown Vegas, new Vegas is interesting because, and I'm sorry to diverge here, but it's interesting because I haven't been to Vegas in about 10 plus years. Vito's wedding was the last time I was in Vegas, and it is a completely different place than when the last time I was there. Like, I remember the casinos would be right out to the road on Las Vegas Boulevard. Like, you could literally walk down Las Vegas Boulevard and you could just duck into the casinos and duck out. And the casinos came right out to the road. Now all of that is gone and it's all commercialized. It's all a fast food joint or a famous chef's restaurant that is all on the lower level of all of these hotels in New Vegas. So to go down to Old Vegas and see, it's like going back in time, really, and seeing just how bright all the lights were and how over the top Old Vegas was in compared to this commercialized different world that is literally just 5 miles up the street from Old Vegas. They're 5 miles apart and they're two different worlds.
Did you go to Hardtack Grill?
No, we went to a place called Vic and Anthony's. That was down in the Golden Nugget. It's a steakhouse in the Golden Nugget. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then ate at an Italian restaurant called RPM. It's in the Caesars Forums area.
Yeah, that's a chain. We have RPMs here in Chicago too. So next time you're here, we can go. There's RPM steak.
I got the chicken parm. It was incredible. They have an appetizer of octopus, which is maybe the best octopus I've ever had in my life. Yeah, it was tremendous. So.
Well, we've provided the dilly and the dally, and we
have definitely dillied and dallied. We usually promise not to, but here we did.
And we did it. So guilty as charged, folks. You came to hear about a fugitive kangaroo, and I intend to deliver. A fugitive kangaroo that spent 4 days on the run in Canada was caught by police on Monday. Not before it managed to punch an officer in the face. Durham Regional Police Service said it had received an unlikely call from a member of the public claiming to have seen a kangaroo hopping around Oshawa, just 40 miles east of Toronto. The kangaroo had escaped while being transferred between zoos. You have a problem with your processes.
Whoever was in charge of that definitely dropped the ball and got fired.
Fired, yes. The kangaroo had escaped while being transferred between zoos and was spotted hopping down the side of a highway by bewildered motorists who then shared videos on social media.
It's December in Canada and a kangaroo is just hopping down the highway.
Hippity hoppity, right? The officers who were dispatched were briefed on the best way to subdue a kangaroo. You grab it by its tail. It sounds like a prank, right? It sounds like somebody.
It does sound like a prank.
Wait,
they were like,
wait.
Yeah, grab it by the tail.
It's Murphy and Johanna going. Oh yeah, tell them to grab it by the tail. Grab it by the tail.
Oh man!
With best practice by the handlers, the officers just actually grabbed it by the tail, and they were able to safely keep her detained in the area. That was according to Staff Sergeant Chris Beaulieu, as he told reporters on Monday. Only one of the officers was struck in the face during the apprehension, but he'll be just fine, but we won't be continuing the investigation. Officers jumped on a chance to bring the freedom-seeking marsupial into custody around 3 a.m. Monday and had stopped to take a little break, police said in a statement. The kangaroo gave up and surrendered peacefully to police officers. She then received a ride to one of our canine kennels back to the zoo where she is being examined. That sounds weird.
Yeah.
If you punched the cop in the face, you should go to jail. Should arrest him.
What a kangaroo jail. Kangaroo court.
Hey, go to kangaroo court. There it is. And that's no better way to wrap up this show, folks, because I don't know if I told you it's a zoo. Here we are at the evening zoo, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for stopping in to the evening zoo. I'm Brooks Topless, and that's Betatopia downstairs. It's been Topic Thunder, and we do this every Wednesday here and there. We try to avoid the grief from Ryan Hansen. So every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have this type of conversation where we hope to have fun. We hope to have not so fun. We hope to educate, illuminate, and conversate. That is as close to as a preacher I'll ever get. So again, happy birthday to Adrian. Folks, Super Wrestling is this Sunday. Super Wrestler 3, Volume 3. I'll be there in spades, folks. I'll have a cool t-shirt and everything that says Super Wrestlers on it. Color coordinated. Folks, from the USS Rapapa. I'm Brooks. That's been It's Topic Thunder. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen.